Nick Nielsen joining us. And he's at the Hauser already.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be kind of pinching yourself that you get to call this series. It has been, just from following it from afar, Nick, it's been wild.
It has been insane so far. And I got to say, I love that you're rocking the old Raider hat there, first of all, Barry. That's fantastic. But, yeah, I mean, this series has been unreal. It's been so feisty from start to finish. There's been some really, really physical games. This place was absolutely insane on Friday with 3,200 people here. It's the loudest building I've ever been in. I've been hearing about the hype of the playoff atmosphere at the Art Hauser Center all year before I got here. And I started to hear about it enough that you start to go, can it actually live up to the hype? And it exceeded it. Like, I cannot. Yeah. I haven't slept in 2 days getting ready for this game.
Split in PA to start the series, then go back to Edmonton and lose both there. Like, why? Why the big swings in this series? And then PA's won the last two to force Game 7 tonight. Like, what can you put your finger on there?
Yeah, so I can put my finger on the first two games and the 2 wins for the PA. And, you take a look at Game 1 where the Raiders, we've had one of the best power plays in the league all season. We get a power play in the first couple seconds of the game. And then credit to Grayson Sauchin, who takes the puck away and he scores a shorthanded goal 29 seconds into the series here in Prince Albert. And I think that kind of rattled the Raiders a little bit. And the crowd, it really took the crowd out of Game 1. So you didn't have that to feed on here. Game 2, I feel like it came maybe a little too easy for the Raiders in the 6-1 win here. Yeah, Edmonton, they put forward a pretty solid push, but it was almost hard to build momentum off it because how do you go up from the 6-1 win almost? It was kind of like that feeling there. The energy going to Game 3 and Game 4, the bus was a little quieter. We had that day off in Edmonton, or a day off to travel and get situated in Edmonton before we played Game 3 and Game 4. And, we played hard in both those games, just didn't come away with the wins. But then there's Game 5. And like I said, 3,222 people in this building, and it's the loudest building I've ever been in. I was in Flin Flon at the Whitney Forum for the SJHL finals last year. This was louder, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I barely think my ears survived the Whitney Forum. But, just blown out loud, and I can tell you for a fact that this team was inspired by that crowd from Game 5, and that carried through to Game 6. The bus was so much more loose and relaxed, and the guys I talked to before the game, Rylan Kovacevic and Harrison Lodwick specifically, they were so excited to bring hockey back to the Art Hauser Center before Game 6. That was the goal, and now we're here.
I watched Game 7. I'm watching the game tonight. I'm going to split screen it with the Weyburn Flin Flon game. But I watched Game 6, and my daughter's with me, and I'm like, oh, okay, PA scored a couple. All right, they're good. And then Edmonton comes right back and scores 2 to tie it up. And there was a part that I'm like, am I watching highlights? Is this a live feed, or are they just showing highlights? That's what it was, though.
Yeah, and I mean, the Oil Kings, they came back like a freight train. 61 seconds, they scored twice, and all of a sudden the game's tied. But I don't know, for whatever reason, up in the booth, you get a feeling every once in a while when your team's not losing, and shortly after that, we get a double minor for a high sticking call, and we kill it off. And when you're in the back half of the third period and you see that effort where the team kills off that clutch penalty kill, you could just feel it. And then that final minute came, and we get one on the power play. And I mean, 2 seconds after the faceoff's won, boom, it's in the back of the net, and we're coming home.
One guy we got to watch a lot in this area last year make the run with Moose Jaw. You mentioned him, Rylan Kovacevic. How good has he been? And then having that, I guess you talk about being on the bus a lot, having that elder statesman, that older guy that's been through it. What you see in the importance there amongst his peers?
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of the few guys on this team who has Game 7 experience from last year in that series against Saskatoon. That's something huge to build off of. You're a championship caliber player. And, when he came in with the Raiders, he came in like crazy. I think he put up something like 8 points in his first 5 games with the Raiders. And then he kind of tailed off a little bit. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure, just kind of through that middle portion of the season, sometimes guys battle it out a little bit and are gripping their sticks a little extra tight. And that was kind of the case for Covey. And then with 6 games left in the season, we were in Lethbridge, and I was all excited. They put him together with a new line, a couple of the young guys in Kovacevic, and I really liked the combination there. And they scored on their first shift of the game. And then Kovacevic on the second shift, he ends up hurt, and we lose him for the last 5 games of the regular season. And all of a sudden, it was like, right as it looked like he was starting to, find that groove again. And then he comes back for game 1 of this series, and, he's been one of our best players in this playoff run, capped off by that 4-point performance in game 6. I mean, 3 primary assists and the shorthanded goal. And the kicker to it is I asked him before the game, because I interviewed him before game 6, and he told me he wasn't happy with his production so far, even though I thought he'd been playing pretty good in the playoffs. Told me he wasn't happy with his production, puts up a 4-point night. And I asked him, Covey, how you feeling now? And he said, I'm not happy yet. I won't be until we win this series. So that's the mentality of this team in that dressing room behind me.
The story has been well documented too, right? Max Hildebrand, the goalie, his father's one of the associate general manager in Saskatoon. They almost pulled off this weird upset last year for Prince Albert. He is absolutely loved in that community, and he should be. If he wins this game tonight, I'm thinking Max will never have to pay for anything at the Venice House in Prince Albert again, right?
Yeah, no, I know it's the case here too. Max Hildebrand's beloved in this city, and for good reason. I mean, the guy creates high robbery constantly, and I made the joke on Twitter at the start of the year I was going to have a bill at the end of the season for my throat doctor, because the saves that he makes, I end up blowing my top on him constantly. And I mean, he's been doing it again and again and again. And Bemidji State's got a great goaltender coming to them next year. If he's not goaltender of the year, I will be surprised and maybe upset.
Yeah, well, no, you can be. I can't wait to see. How many milk crates do you think people will be hauling in that place tonight?
Oh, if only it wasn't something that's had the kibosh put on it. I would love to see the milk crates.
Come on, PA.
Yeah, they kiboshed it after the 2019 finals, so unfortunately that's not a thing here anymore. But I'm still calling it milk crate night at the Hauser. It's got a good ring to it.
PA, I thought you were tough. Even PA's getting soft. What a world. Okay, well, have a great...
you watched this series, I wouldn't say that anymore.
Have a great call. Thanks for taking some time on a game night, and looking forward to watching this one tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Barry.